My buddy cussed out our track coach for winning a race. This was my junior year of high school, and we had this sprinter. He was a senior, year older than us, who was a stud. And I'm talking like white boy with wheels stud. Like he would go dominate the 100, had a D1 scholarship to Louisville. Like dude was a freak on those in the sprinting events. Just absolute workhorse. Like he was their anchor at every sprinting relay, killed the 100-meter, just an animal. So we're down in Louisville at St. X, which is like a small college stadium for high school. You know, it's just ridiculous, all the funding and stuff that they have down there. And we're like halfway through the race, and track meets are long. They're like a 6-7 hour day, especially on Saturdays when it's bigger and they're moving slower. And one of our assistant coaches was also like a pediatrician or a doctor or something. He was a real odd dude. He had like kind of one of these voices like this, and he was like deaf in one ear. He was just a very interesting character to have. And he wasn't even part of the sprints. He was supposed to be there for like the jumpers and a couple other like specialty events. And everyone knows how it is. Like when you have the stud athlete who wins everything, like he has his routine and his system. Just don't tell him what to do. Like just let him be consistently him and let him do it. And he was kind of like a wild party boy in addition to being a phenomenal sprinter. So I think there were times where our coaches just felt like they needed to say something. Well, it's like a 95-degree day. We're just sitting out in this heat, just melting in the bleachers. And like they try to put up some of those little tents and stuff, but it's just making no difference. It's dead heat. Well, as our sprinter who's getting ready to run, he's kind of warming up and stuff and stretching. He makes a comment like, man, I'm sweating. Well, he had those compression leggings on underneath his track shorts. And our coach is like, you know, it's real stupid for you to be wearing those in this heat. It's just going to compress your body heat. It's going to force you to sweat more, and you're really probably not going to perform well today. Like, to our best runner, like, best runner in the last, like, 5 or 6 years at our high school, he's saying this shit, too. And I literally remember him looking at him and then looking at our head coach, and he looks back, and he was a mouthy dude, right? Like, great personality, one of the funniest. This is one of the kids that came up with my Sid from Toy Story nickname. So he was fucking hysterical. And he just had no filter. So he literally was just like, I don't really give a shit what you think. And our coach is like, our other coaches were like trying not to laugh because they're just letting this encounter. Because it's not like it was like it's not like it was like a head coach or anything. It was like a part-time assistant to an assistant. You know what I mean? Like, so I think everyone was just kind of like, yeah, whatever. Like, just let him beef it out. Like, who's going to intervene with this? Like, it's just an old man in high school getting into it at a track meet. You know what I'm saying? So they're going back and forth for like 5 minutes. And finally, this coach stands up. He's like, you know what? You're just not going to have a good race today. Come find me when you're done, and we'll talk about what you can do better to prepare. Even though this kid's winning like 90% of his races, like, dude's a stud. Like, dude's not losing races. So, like, all of us are just kind of like, where did that comment come from? And as he walks away, I just remember our runner being like, yeah, we'll fucking see. And he's so pissed. He's like, that stupid old man. Fuck that old man, right? No joke. 5 minutes later, he's down there warming up, takes off in the 100, and fucking dominates. Wins by like a couple legs. Comes back up. Literally, he's like, yeah, how about that? Fuck you, old man. How about that, old man? Fuck you. He just like doubled down, cussed him out, sat down, took his compression leggings off, and proceeded to hang out the rest of the day. But it was so freaking funny. And he was one of those kids like 4.4 speed, or honestly, dude had probably under 4.4 speed, but he wanted to be a football player, but he had no hands, right? So like he was a phenomenal track athlete who didn't really like track, but once he found out, oh, I can go to school on it, then I'll do it. And I don't even think he ended up running in college. I think he ended up deciding to pass up his scholarship and he went to another college. But that also just, to me, that shows just like you can be as naturally gifted as you want in anything, but like if you don't actually enjoy it and you're not willing to just kind of put in like the extra work that's required to do it at the highest level for more than, a fluke year or something like that, like it doesn't matter how good you are. Like they'll never sustain if you don't have any type of plan or preparation to continue to make it happen. I just think work ethic is important. And I also find it funny, like a lot of people who, whether you're on the social media aspect of things or whatever line of your career is, I always find it funny that like other people who are in different careers, they always have something to say about the routine or the schedule for somebody else who's in a different field. And I just like, I'm a pretty big believer in stay in your lane. And I only say that because I've tried to not stay in my lane and get in other people's shit, and it's always come back with a negative result. So with all that being said, I guess it's kind of fitting that this is on a track story, but I just think like before you go and you start judging others and trying to tell other people how to live their life or how to operate on a day-to-day basis. Like it's one thing if somebody comes to you and is like, "Hey, like I'm struggling, I need some help with tweaking this or tweaking that," and you seem like someone who's good at it. Can you help me out? That's different than being like, "Hey, man, I'm an astronaut. I know that you work in a coal mine, but this is how you should be doing things and living your life." It's like I don't really buy that. And if I'm being honest, like when I look at social media, like nowadays when I'm scrolling, I almost get annoyed with it at times because it's like everybody's telling you, this is how you do it. This is how I figured out how to do this. And it's like, but you look at your followers or whatever it is, it's like, isn't that like you're like at the top of you're not like you're at the top of the list or like I've never heard of you before. Like nobody really has social media figured out. Like I just still believe that like God's in control of a lot of things in life that we don't want to admit as human beings, but like nobody knows shit about social media. Like if you want to follow the trends and do all that stuff or try to do, the TikTok shop in the storefront to try to make money, that's one thing. But if you want to be like an authentic content creator and do original stuff, it doesn't even make sense to just go on there and follow all the trends and just do what everybody else is doing. Like if you continue just to do that, then you're never going to find the lane or the avenue and the content and the things that allow you to stand out and make you your own or make your brand special. You know what I mean? So I just I question that a lot. Like why just go follow the trends and do what everybody else is doing just to get a quick buck in the short term but kind of go away from what you're really trying to do with your content or your brand on social media. So I guess I'm more talking to myself on this episode, but I think in life that's a big thing too is like you can go ahead and you can follow the crowd and you can take the path that everybody else is doing because it seems easier. But then you have to live with the regret of like what if I just followed my heart and did what I really wanted to do with my life versus just accepting everybody else's opinion and following into a career path or following footsteps of a lifestyle that I never really wanted, but I just did it because I was afraid of disagreeing with everybody else. So I just think that's an important decision you have to make in life. It doesn't mean that you can't be happy and have a lot of success if you choose to kind of go the majority route. Like there's a lot of followers that have a lot of success in life, right? But I think if you truly believe in something and you want to do it a certain way because you believe in that, that you should take that path. And it might be a lot harder and it might have a lot more ups and downs and twists and turns and things that you weren't prepared for or didn't really know a lot about when you first started. But I think like some struggles and pain and embarrassment, like those kind of rough waters of life, I think that kind of helps shape you into a more successful, happier person at the end of it all. So I could be wrong. I'm not saying I've got my life figured out by any means, but for me personally, I would rather just like never make it on social media and continue to actually try to create original content that people enjoy versus just falling into trying to follow the trends and just doing what everybody else is doing in order to make my numbers look better or pick up a quick buck here and there. Like I just feel like it takes away from the principle of what a content creator truly is. Like to me, content creators are extraordinary individuals that have unique personalities or something unique about them that makes them stand out on social media, not somebody who just continues to kind of follow the copycat trend. Like the Nelk Boys, I love the Nelk Boys, but I feel like in the last like 2 years, and not that the other people aren't funny, but if you just like, they're just kind of following what the Nelk Boys did and kind of, it's kind of copycat game. Like you just kind of copy in the way that they got there and then they do it for themselves. And I'm not saying that it's not fine to do, but at least like have your original spin on it or do something that makes you stand out with it. Don't just copy what somebody else did. That's not original. It's not authentic. That's just you taking someone else's really good idea and stealing it. So, and again, I could be wrong. I'm not trying to be judgmental or hateful on any of that because I know like you can make a lot of money doing it that way and it's easier. But I just personally feel like for me, I'd rather just be original, figure it out, and try to just, stick with stick with what I believe in order to see it through. So that's my spiel on here today on Talks with Tom. We'll be back in more episodes soon. Peace.
Taking shots by the lake till I can't even breathe no more, see no more. I was riding around town thinking to myself, is it